So yesterday, I went to my community post and asked y'all if y'all wanted to see World Breaker Hulk. And shockingly, a lot of you guys really wanted to see it. But before we get into World Breaker Hulk, we gotta talk about Planet Hulk. Because this movie right here basically ties into World Breaker Hulk. And it's kind of the reason why Hulk goes berserk and tries to destroy the whole planet. So without further ado, let's stop wasting time and let's get into this movie. So the movie begins when we see Hulk wake up and then see a hologram of everybody in the Illuminati. And for those who don't know, the Illuminati is like this secret group or faction that consists of the world's smartest people. And for some strange reason, they just thought it was a good idea to throw Hulk in this rocket and just shoot him into outer space, onto a different planet. And this 100% totally won't backfire in the future. Totally. But after realizing that his friend just stabbed him in the back, he starts raging the fuck out and starts destroying the spaceship. And if we're being real, I don't even blame Hulk for being this pissed off. Because if people that I consider my friends just trapped me inside of a spaceship and sent me to an unknown remote planet that nobody knows of, I'd be a little heated too. Not gonna lie. But Hulk ends up beating down the spaceship so bad that it ends up going completely off course to its original destination, and the spaceship just ends up landing in a completely different planet known as Sakaar. And once Hulk crash lands on this planet, a bunch of these ugly ass alien bugs just decide to start attacking the Hulk. And shockingly enough, their spears are actually hurting him, which is weird because I only thought adamantium or Uru could only hurt the Hulk, but I guess not. These red aliens pull up and then shoot this disc at Hulk, which allows him to understand the language of the aliens, and the red aliens tell Hulk that he's now officially a slave. However, in typical Hulk fashion, he isn't listening to a word they're saying. So he tries to attack them, but before he could do that, this alien dude uses the disc device to shock him and knock him out unconscious. The movie then cuts to Hulk waking back up to see a bunch of captured prisoners, and then this guy named Lavin tells Hulk that they're about to be in a gladiator-like arena fight. And these are Hulk's teammates. We got Bug Boy, typical baddie, Rockman, Cyborg Dude, this guy that unironically sounds like Gara for some reason.
My name is Heroin the Shade, and you shall know the truth of who I am.
It's my blood! And then the leader, Lavin. And once everyone is finished introducing themselves, they get dropped into the arena and they pick up their weapons, and their opponents are a bunch of these Cronins. And Krog, obviously being a Cronin himself, obviously doesn't want to fight his own people. So he tries to walk up to them and confront them, but he just gets socked in the face. And then basically a fight starts to break out. Kyra starts fighting one of the Cronins until Lavin would appear and then cut one in the eyes, which would then temporarily blind him, as then Hiram and Lavin would then push them off balance. But while everyone's fighting for their lives, Hulk's over here just trying to escape because he doesn't want to partake in any of this madness that's going on. The three bug aliens try fighting the Cronins, but they do no damage, and the dude just gets back up, smashes the first one, then smacks the second one, and then grabs the third one and then just squeezes it to death. And oh my gosh, but why was Marvel so brutal back then before the MCU? Like, you can't tell me a child wasn't traumatized by this, because this is low-key kind of crazy. Lavin tries convincing Korg to fight, saying that those are no longer his comrades and that their minds have been washed. And then one of the Cronins just stabbed Lavin in the back, brutally. Like, damn, I didn't know Marvel was this comfortable in just showing death back in the day. Like, yeah, I know the MCU shows tons of brutal murder now, but just something about these older animated movies that just hit different. You know what? Let me know right now in the comment sections which is better, the Marvel animated movies or the MCU, cause I can't be the only one that thinks the animated movies are better. But anywho, after Korg sees Lavin die, he finally gives in and then proceeds to kill all three of his brothers, which is kind of a little fucked up considering that's his own people, but you know, as Lavin said, they're basically brain dead, so this shit doesn't matter. But after all the Cronins die, this demon octopus thingy comes out of the arena and it just starts going straight ballistic. It destroys this cyborg dude, and the rest of Hulk's teammates look like they're in danger. So finally, this man Hulk decides to do something. So he jumps into the air and then punches the octopus in its weak spot, instantly killing it. And I don't even know why, but I just find it severely funny that it took 5 people to die for this man Hulk to do something. Like, maybe if the Hulk did something from the start, then maybe some of these people wouldn't be dead right now, huh? So good job for the Hulk for entering last minute in the fight and letting all these people die. Great job. After the Hulk had defeated the octopus, the crowd is looking mad hyped than ever, whatever. And wait a minute, what the hell is Star-Lord doing here? And why is he watching this man Hulk fight for his life? Like, shouldn't he be helping him right now? Star-Lord's really casually watching the fight, knowing damn well his friend's down there. Hulk jumps up and tries attacking the Red King, but his servant comes in and then hits Hulk right in the chest, leading to Hulk crashing right back down to the floor. And this pose that Hulk's hitting right now looks awfully familiar or something, but I can't put my finger on it. Oh well, doesn't ring a bell. Anywho, the Red King gets in his golden ass mech suit and the Hulk and Red King start fighting. The Red King cuts Hulk's right cheek and then Hulk's teammates decide him to lend him a sword, that way it can be a fair fight. But we all know giving Hulk a weapon is legit the equivalent of giving Mike Tyson a knife. Shit is not fair. And it's shown right here because Hulk manages to cut the Red King. And even though bro only got cut one time, he had to call an immediate timeout and tag his servant. Like, timing out for one measly little cut is low-key kinda pussy, but hey, I'm not judging. Hulk and Kyra are battling it out, and it's looking kinda even. He's going all in and she's going all in. But that would all be interrupted by this dickhead, the Red King, lasering him down right before the Hulk was about to attack. And just listen to the crowd's response after this. Like, even the crowd knows this Red King dude is low-key kinda pussy. But after Hulk gets hit by the laser, he gets knocked out and gets sent right back to prison with the rest of the gang. And everyone's just sitting around Lavin's corpse giving their backstories and shit. But none of their backstories pose any importance, except for this motherfucker right here. Yeah, Korgs. Because in his backstory, he decides it'd be an absolutely fantastic idea to capture Odin's son. Yeah, you heard me right. Deadass fucking Thor. And Thor is whooping the mess out of these rock dudes, which isn't really a surprise considering the fact that this is the same version of Thor that fought Hulk and lost. But he was folding these dudes so badly that they had to pull out this giant ass robot to stop him from causing any further damage. And it looks like the machine is actually causing the God of Thunder some trouble, until it wasn't, because it's revealed that Thor wasn't the only one who got captured. Do you want to know who also got captured with Thor? It is no other than Beta fucking Ray Bill. Now, I don't know too much about him, but I know enough information that if this guy appears, you know shit is about to go down. Beta and Thor both combine their strength and destroy the robot with zero effort. And the rock dudes had already seen enough, so they decide to head to the rocket ship and try escaping the battlefield. But this madman Beta still wants to run the fucking fade, so he decides to chase them down and follow them through the black hole like a psychopath. And after all that, the Kronos crash land and now Korg is here. So yeah, that backstory was a little crazy. But after everyone's explaining their backstory, we then transition to the second battle. And their opponents are now all these robots, but you know, Hulk makes easy work of them because he's, well, the Hulk. And after everyone's finished fighting the robots, we then see Hulk's blood touch the ground and create these tiny little plants. And I'm just gonna go ahead and assume it's a mutation between Hulk's blood and the soil of Sakaar, because if it isn't, then what the hell does Hulk got going on right now? Hulk and the gang are back in their cells until Kyra pulls Hulk out for a minute and explains why the Red King isn't necessarily a bad guy. Because when Kyra was just a little kid, these things called spikes started raining down on her village. And basically what these spikes do is basically turn these people into just mindless monsters that just start attacking people. And unfortunately for Kyra, her father and mother, they both turned into these spikes and she basically had to brutally murder the both of them. And then when she was starting to get overswarmed by these spikes, the Red King then appears with his robots and gets rid of all the spikes, saving Kyra. And Hulk is all like, that's cool and all, but what's that gotta do with me? And then she proceeds to explain that Eloah has a bunch of people breaking into prison, that way they can help her escape. And as long as Hulk follows them, then he won't ever have to fight in the arenas ever again. And the main reason why Kyra is even allowing this in the first place is because, well, Hulk is that guy. And after the Hulk had embarrassed the Red King by cutting him in front of everybody, the people of Sakaar are basically starting to turn against their king. So really, they're starting to wake up and realize that this guy is just dead ass a big ass bum. But even after Kyra's whole explanation, Hulk's like, hell no, fuck off, and if your king wants to kill me, then he's gonna have to do it in the arena. And since Hulk isn't gonna follow Eloah, it's basically implied that they're gonna get murdered. So boom, time passes in the prison and then the resistance come in to break Eloah out of prison. Hulk's like, the moment you step outside, you are going to die. But her ass just doesn't want to listen, and even has the audacity to call Hulk a stupid ass brute.
He spoke with the Shadow God, Eloah. I think he knows something.
He's a stupid brute. He knows nothing.
And then she runs outside, and then she just dies. She just dies.
Hell away!
Yeah, maybe she would have actually survived if she didn't, you know, call Hulk a stupid idiot and then run away to her death. Crazy part is, Savage Hulk isn't even really that dumb for real. And I'm not even talking about this one, because this isn't even Hulk. This is just Bruce Banner inside the Hulk's body. I'm talking about this Hulk.
The scars on his back are rough, though there's no internal damage. He's malnourished and dehydrated. But here's where it gets strange. He's emitting some kind of energy, something I've never seen before. Sorry, I guess this is a bit over your head.
It's a form of cosmic radiation.
So yeah, shockingly enough, Hulk is actually pretty smart. But yeah, Elwood dies, and then a couple hours pass by, and then the third and final Gladiator arena fight begins. And now I'm wondering who Hulk's gonna face off against now. Either way, I'm sure it's nothing gonna be too crazy. Oh, hell no. Yeah, somebody call 911 because he's about to put all three of these motherfuckers, except for Hulk, in the hospital. Hiram is the first one to attack Beta, and he tries slashing him, but he blocks the attack and then proceeds to punch Hiram away. Korg comes in and then hits him with this mace, but Beta just casually tanks it, and then Beta turns around and says this to him.
You, I hold no guilt about killing.
Like, Korg, why? Just why did you have to capture this man? Now you're gonna die. And I know Beta isn't gonna pull his punches too, like he's cooked. Korg then tries to attack him with the mace again, but then Beta just catches it and then headbutts him. Then Hulk tries to attack Beta with his sword, but that shit breaks on impact due to Stormbreaker being damn near indestructible. And then Beta just starts pounding on the Hulk because he can just fight like that for real. What can I say? Plus he's worthy for Mjolnir, so that's already a sign that he could whoop ass.
I act by the will of others, Hulk. The disc in my chest and in yours demands that one of us must die. You have my sympathy because it will not be me!
God damn, not only did he say one of the coldest lines in the whole movie, but he then hits Hulk with this 3-piece combo. Like, Hulk didn't even deserve that for real. And the more I watch this fight between Hulk versus Beta, I'm just sitting here wondering why Thor wasn't throwing hands like this in the Thor versus Hulk movie. Like shit, maybe if he was Beta, his ass wouldn't have gotten planted out on the floor like this. Hulk throws these knives at Beta and it accidentally stabs into one of the discs, destroying it and basically freeing Beta. And Beta's like, you freed me. But you know, Hulk doesn't give a fuck a word this man says due to the fact that he's in a burst of rage right now, and he just continues beating his ass. And he was punching this dude so hard that his face deadass turned into a bunch of mashed potatoes. Like, I'm not trolling. Like, look at this shit. Bro's got the face only a mother could love. But the beatdown was so horrific, even the crowd was like, oh shit, maybe he should probably stop. But they didn't react like this when my boy Lavin died. But oh, you wanna feel bad for Mr. Horseboy over here? It's fucked up, bro. Real fucked up. But our heroes finally win the battle, and before they can leave the arena, they have to do one more task for Red King. And that's, well, kill off Elway. Because it turns out the king spared her, that way her own homies could just kill her off, which is kind of messed up. And the gang is obviously too locked in with Elway, and they say no to killing her, so the king is like, okay, I'll just kill everyone then. So he just starts electrocuting everybody. But our go Beta Ray Bills gets up from the beating he received from Hulk previously and just straight up frees everybody. He even smashes this wall, which also allows the prisoners from inside the jail to also be free. So this man really just caused the whole ass jailbreak in the arena. Beta asks Hulk whether he wants to come back to Earth or not, and Hulk obviously says no. Because if bro came back, he knows he's just gonna get shot right back into outer space. Like the Avengers do not want his ass back. After everyone is free and shit, Hulk fucks off in some nearby distance and the rest of the gang are chilling with this guy that eventually betrays them. And spoiler alert, this bug guy actually kills him. Like, I'm starting to think this movie has the most murders in all of Marvel movie history, cause this has to be like the 5th person dying in this movie. Anyways, we cut back to Hulk by himself alone until Kyra pulls up to finish off the Hulk. And then they get into this huge ass fight as always, and I'm pretty sure there's a moment where she just literally shoves her whole ass hand into Hulk's chest chest, which is like, I don't even know what to say to that. And they continue battling each other until, well, the spikes come back. So then Hulk and Kyra make this temporary truce to save all these people from turning into monsters, and it's kind of insane and chaotic because even the Hulk turns into a spike himself, but since he has gamma radiation coursing through his body, it doesn't really turn him into a mindless zombie like the rest. And while all this is going down, a hologram of the Red King then appears in front of Kyra, and it's revealed that this whole situation was caused by him.
What?
Yep, so it turns out the person who unleashed all those spikes on the village was the Red King. And even crazier news, the person who unleashed all those spikes on Kyra's village was also the Red King. Like, he was causing mass genocide at the ripe old age of 10. Do you know what I was doing at the age of 10? Playing Roblox. The Red King then drops this fat ass nuke on the village, which leads all the spikes to die, including the Hulk. And Kyra tells the king this, and he tells her to capture the rest of his squad, that way they can be executed tomorrow. So boom, the next day arrives, and the gang are all scheduled for their execution except for the Hulk, because he's obviously dead. And once they reach the king unfolds the blanket beneath Hulk's body, and then Hulk pulls a psych! And then proceeds to open his eyes and then smack the king in the face. And I just know the king got his ass jump scared when he saw Hulk open his eyes like this. You know, he probably should have just checked Hulk's pulse just in case he was really dead or not, but you know, I'm not him. Kyra frees the prisoners and then everyone just gets straight to fighting. Hulk and the king are just duking it out, and the king tries to use his sword on the Hulk. The Hulk catches the blade and then breaks that shit in half so he can just stab it into his armor, and then hit him with this mean ass uppercut. The king then recovers and then sends these missiles at the Hulk, and he gets sent packing back. And I'm honestly surprised that Hulk didn't just straight up tank these missiles, because usually in different media, he just kinda takes missiles head on, but I guess this case is different. And after Hulk gets launched back, he then gets fried up like a Popeye's chicken tender. Until that is, he does his signature thunderclap and proceeds to disperse all of the fire. And then he just starts ripping apart the Red King's armor, leaving this man suitless. And just look at this clown. Now that he doesn't have his armor anymore, he's praying for dear life that Hulk doesn't banish him to the Shadow Realm. But the Hulk is like, nah, I'm not gonna kill you. And then he proceeds to drop him off right to Kyra. And Kyra proceeds to implant one of the spikes inside of the king's skin, which leads him to transforming into a spike himself. And while he's being transformed, these robots pop up and are like, oh nah, you're a spike now, you gotta go. And they just burn the Red King alive, finally finishing him off. And in the end, Hulk becomes new ruler of Sakaar and ends up getting with Kyra, and they both start a family and live happily ever after. Until they didn't and all died from this explosion. Alright boys, it's time. It's finally time to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, the one who's been around for several generations and who's also one of the biggest Marvel characters alongside his peers, the GOAT himself, the Incredible Hulk. And today, we're gonna talk about one of his most popular comic runs, World War Hulk. And before we start this, since this comic run is gonna be especially long, I'm gonna be splitting this comic series into multiple parts. And hopefully by the end of this series, I can put all these parts together as a whole movie. And since this video is kind of different from the rest of my content, can we please get this video to 30 likes? That way I know y'all actually enjoy this type of content. Please and thank you. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into this video. So the comic starts off with this narrator narrating the Hulk's time on Sakaar. And if you guys watched my last video, you know our boy Hulk was definitely going through it. But he was getting stabbed, burned alive, and his whole flesh was literally getting devoured. But even after all that, bro never forgot the people who actually put him in this situation in the first place. And that's the Illuminati, cause they were the ones who put Hulk in this rocket ship and had just launched his ass into outer space. And just look how they act when they realize they finally got rid of the Hulk. Them boys are smiling from ear to ear. Shit, even Iron Man was so happy, you can literally see his metal faceplate make a slight expression here. Like bro was ecstatic as fuck that he no longer had to whip out the Hulkbuster to handle this motherfucker. But after the Illuminati had thought that they had finally got rid of the Hulk, it comes to eventually turn out that the Hulk is coming right back to Earth. And Big Dog is not happy one bit. Y'all already know Hulk's about to get his craziest get back on all four of these clowns. Hulk lands on the moon and Black Bolt and Medusa just pull up on our boy. And the way Medusa is meat riding Black Bolt right now, you think Black Bolt's gonna put Hulk to work. But if you've read the comic, You already know how he ends up. Black Bolt starts using his Sonic Scream on the Hulk, and the Hulk is getting pushed away, and then he gets smashed into this rock right here. And then this buffoon, Black Bolt, had thought that this singular Sonic Scream attack was enough to finish him off. And then he decides to turn his back towards the Hulk. And anybody with a brain would know that turning your back towards the Hulk is basically a sign that you want a death wish. Cause Black Bolt hears a voice from behind, and then turns around to see this big ass green giant getting ready to jump on him. And y'all, imagine if you were in Black Bolt's position right now and you just saw this 8-foot tall man that probably weighs 450 pounds getting ready to jump on you. Like, what do you even do in this situation? Cause I'd be sure as dead. The US military is detecting some strange activity on the moon, and before they can even figure out what the hell is going on, they then lose signal. We then see a scene of Tony telling the president that something has hit the satellites, and tells the president to give some sort of order, but the president responds with, "It's too late," as we then see this spaceship hover over a bunch of these innocent civilians. And honestly bro, whenever some shit is going down in the Marvel universe, it's only specifically in Town Square, New York. Like, imagine trying to enter your car that way you can drive your way to work, and then you see fucking Thor lift up your vehicle and then just throw it at some villain or criminal who would then just move out of the way and dodge. Like, not only did Thor just miss, but now I gotta walk my ass all the way to work. Like, come on bro. The spaceship shoots out this big ass hologram of the Hulk, and he just straight up snitches on the Illuminati to the entire world. And then he explains the reason why Hulk is currently making this broadcast right now is that the Illuminati sent a quote unquote bomb directly at Sakaar, which killed millions of his own people. And now since that's happened, everybody, and I mean everybody, in New York has exactly 24 hours on the dot to evacuate and get the fuck out of there. And not only that, but Hulk is also requesting Mr. Fantastic, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange to be present in New York Town Square, because if they aren't, then the whole world will end up like Black Bolt. Absolutely cooked. So then Iron Man's over here in the middle of outer space trying to fix the satellites that Hulk managed to take over. But then this robot right here hits his ass with an AMP wave, and he loses back control of the satellites. And I just gotta say, but doesn't Iron Man have like an IQ of like 250? How did he easily get outsmarted by a robot? Strange pops up and Tony tries to ask him to teleport Hulk to a different planet, but Strange is like, no, so he can tear apart someone else's world and come back even more stronger?
Shut your lame ass up, nigga.
First of all, Strange, let's get one thing straight. The only people who are gonna be torn apart is you and Mr. Billionaire Playboy over here. And second of all, who the hell even said it even had to be a planet? Me and everybody watching this video knows that you can legit just teleport him into a different dimension instead of a planet. But you know what? Go ahead. Let this big green motherfucker land on Earth and endanger millions. We then cut to Iron Man and Mr. Fantastic telling the Sentry to handle the Hulk. So he says, I bet, say less. And just like that, the Sentry appears looking like he's ready to stand on business. And meanwhile in Town Square, everyone's just trying to evacuate the city until the ground starts shaking. And everyone's looking scared shitless, thinking that the Hulk just decided to come a little bit earlier. But no, it turns out it was just a false alarm, cause really it was just She-Hulk who was causing all the ruckus. And it's like, damn, is the situation so bad that they deadass gotta bring this dude's cousin? Like, making the Hulk fight his little cousin is devious work, but I guess they're gonna need all the forces they can get to stop this case. Iron Man then shows up with this Hulk Buster suit on, and Spider-Man's like, where the fuck is the Sentry at? I thought you said he was gonna be here. But Tony says he'll be here when the time is right. And before Spider-Man can even question what Tony even means, his Spider Sense starts kicking off, and then the man himself appears. Mr. Crash Out himself, the Hulk has finally arrived and is ready to beat the bricks off of anybody who dares get in his way. And y'all, what happens next has to be one of the best entertaining fights in comic book history. Cause Iron Man and the Hulk get straight into the action and then they clash with one another, causing this huge ass shockwave that causes mass collateral damage throughout the city. Even the helicopters are being impacted by the shockwave. And while Iron Man is tussling with the Hulk himself, he transmits a message to this helicopter nearby and says that the allegations are in fact true. He did in fact fire Hulk into outer space, and he is willing to take full accountability for that, which is actually really surprising considering Tony's character and all, but that's not the point. Hulk and Tony are still fighting in midair, and Hulk tries to elbow Tony, but then he retaliates by using his fist and smashing Hulk's head in. They then crash right back down to the ground, and Hulk tries to rush him, but he ends up being greeted with a right body shot, which would send him flying through multiple multiple buildings. And keep in mind, while these two are boxing, the whole world is literally watching this fight unfold, and they are celebrating the fact that Iron Man's actually winning against the Hulk, shockingly. However, the fight still isn't actually over, cause these planes come in and then send these missiles directly at Bruce. And as he's getting hit by the missiles, he gets a flashback of his wife, Kyra, spending their last moments together before, well, the spaceship Hulk was on ends up exploding and murdering his wife. And after he gets this flashback, the Hulk proceeds to have one of the worst crash outs ever. I mean, just look at his eyes right now. This is a man who has pure, unfiltered rage. And you guys are about to see it firsthand right here. Because he straight up bum rushes the Hulkbuster and leads it to smash into this tower. And Hulk right here just starts going straight into the Hulkbuster with full force. He was beating Tony's ass so bad right here that the building was slowly starting to fall apart. And while these two are falling in midair, Hulk is still putting that belt ass on Tony, punching them while they were falling and even uppercutting him. And after the building had fully fell apart, the only person left standing through the encounter that Hulk and Tony had was obviously, well, the Hulk, duh. And once it's shown that Hulk managed to come out on top and beat Tony while he was in his Hulkbuster suit, the issue then comes to a close, leaving us with a cliffhanger of what Hulk is gonna do next. Moral of the story, don't shoot the Hulk into outer space, because in the end, it'll bite you back. Ah yeah, it's time. After all the waiting and procrastination, we're finally back to talking about World War Hulk. And I don't really have an intro for this video because I just want to get straight into the meat. So without further ado, let's begin this story. So just to jog your guys' memory a bit, we left off with Hulk fighting Tony Stark in his Hulkbuster suit, and these two were just going at it. I'm talking about they were destroying buildings left and right, and overall just causing massive havoc and destruction. But near the end of their battle, they end up crashing into this nearby tower, and the tower completely falls apart and collapses. And after the destruction of the tower settles in, the last person that's standing from the battle between Hulk and Tony is the Green Goat himself, Hulk. So now we're in present time, and the Hulk calls in his warbounds. She-Hulk tries to come in and talk to Bruce, telling him that they could get this all sorted out and maybe put Tony and the rest of the Illuminati on trial for basically killing his people. But Hulk isn't hearing none of that. Mans is like, stop all that yapping and get to fading. So he throws his first punch, but She-Hulk weaves out of the way and clocks him right in the nose, retaliating back by grabbing her face and smashing her into the ground. And after getting slammed, She-Hulk's like, oh shit, we actually might be cooked. Ares comes in and attempts to hit Hulk with his axe, but he misses and ends up getting smacked. Now a whole battle breaks out between Hulk's friends and the Avengers, but while all this is going down, we cut to the Fantastic Four and Black Panther and his wife Storm building this sort of invention. Now I don't really know what's the purpose behind this machine, but I'm just assuming it's some weapon built to either kill the Hulk or just teleport him away, far away from Earth, I guess. Reed tells Black Panther to leave before it's too late because this isn't his fight and that he'll finish up the invention that him and Black Panther were making. But T'Challa says it kinda is his fight because the Hulk is literally coming after everybody, even people who weren't even involved with the Illuminati. Not just that, but since the Hulk defeated the Avengers, he's gonna need all the help he can get in order to stop him. But before they could continue their conversation any further, Johnny alarms the whole entire group that Hulk has arrived, and he isn't happy one bit. Storm uses the wind to blow him into this building right here, and the rest of the Hulk friends are seen attacking our heroes. And while Hulk is stuck on the ground trying to get out of the floor, Human Torch and Storm combine their powers together in order to blast away the Hulk. And this shit actually looks like it does significant damage. I mean, the blast itself was so massive that it actually blew away the Fantastic Four and a couple of Hulk's friends right here. But in the end, Hulk is still standing, carrying Human Torch by his shirt. And Ben, seeing this, jumps off this building and gets ready to square up with the Hulk. Firing off a right hook to his face, the two giants begin their battle, wrestling, throwing body shots, and overall just beating the living crap out of each other. And everyone's just witnessing this in complete awe and shock. But in the aftermath of the Thing and Hulk's battle, Hulk ends up getting the upper hand, appearing like he's about to finish off Ben. But then a bright light just spawns out of nowhere, that bright light being the Sentry. and when the sentry lends out his hand to grab the Hulk just crushes his hand, because in actuality, that bright light wasn't even sentry. It was actually the device that Reed and T'Challa made to mimic the sentry in order to calm down the Hulk. But Hulk could really easily see through this illusion, so he ended up just crushing the machine and would also try attacking Reed. But just in time, Sue Storm would set up this invisible wall to protect him. Sue would also try and talk to Bruce in order to convince him to stop this whole mess, but he doesn't listen and destroys Sue's invisible barrier as he begins beating down on her husband Reed, before Reed would then start using his elastic powers and wrap his whole body around Bruce. But that really just does nothing, and Bruce just starts to wail on him right in his stomach. And hey though, y'all gotta admit, ain't shit fantastic about this one bit. Like, Hulk really just spaghettified Mr. Fantastic's whole entire goddamn body. Do you know how absurd that sounds coming out of my mouth? Oh wait, no, because this is just comics. This is probably just a regular Tuesday for Reed, a matter of fact. Also, I kinda like how even after Reed got his ass beat, his powers are still active. Like, he genuinely looks like some deflated ass balloon right here. It's kinda funny. Anyways, after folding the Fantastic Four and the Avengers, he's out here dragging their bodies across the street, and for some reason, these idiots still haven't evacuated New York City and are instead protesting against the Hulk, which is kind of idiotic, but oh well, who's gonna stop them? But amidst the crowd, Rick Jones is actually present there, and it looks like he actually wants to talk to the Hulk. And it actually looks like that Rick is actually calming down the Hulk. But then this evil bastard Doctor Strange starts sending these telekinetic attacks to the Hulk straight through his mind. Like, bro, this has to be one of the worst timings to attack the Hulk ever. Because after he gets attacked, he leaps away and lands into this lake right here, and ends up being greeted by Hercules and a couple other people. And of course, considering the fact that Hulk just randomly got attacked out of nowhere, he's kinda even more angry than before, and starts battling Hercules. Now in the middle of the city, S.H.I.E.L.D. overhears watching this all go down, and they seem to be reporting all of what Hulk's doing back to their boss. And their boss is actually to be revealed as the man himself, General Ross. And before we could see what happens next, the issue then comes to a conclusion. Anyways, yeah, this is the end of the video. Sorry for taking like 300 years to finally drop the second part of World War Hulk, but yeah, now it's here, so yeah. Anyways, peace. So the issue turns to our attention with this soldier saying that the Hulk has defeated the Fantastic Four and the Avengers. However, not just that, but a couple few civilians have managed to sneak their way into New York City, because I guess they still think the Hulk is still kind of this heroic figure. But General Ross doesn't really see this. A matter of fact, he doesn't recognize Hulk as a hero at all, because every single time that the Green Giant is celebrated as a superhero, the next few months later, he ends up just reverting back to his old primal monster self, terrorizing New York City and causing billions of dollars in property damage. And people seeing the Hulk rampage through the city like an animal still decides to make excuses for him. Hell, even at some point in time, the general himself has made a couple excuses for him, because at a certain point of time, his daughter was deeply in love with Bruce, and whatever crazy and chaotic thing the Hulk did wasn't really Bruce's fault. But now that his daughter is now dead and the Hulk is coming back from outer space to kill all of Earth's biggest superheroes, he decides enough is enough and sends out the military to gun down the Hulk and kill him. We then go to Doctor Strange, and he casts this spell that allows him to mentally go inside the Hulk's mind, stating that now he's able to see through the Hulk's perspective and point of view. As now we see the Green Savage being attacked by the military, he leaps upwards and hits this nearby helicopter, causing it to be severely damaged and fall from the sky. And just as the helicopter crashes and explodes into millions of pieces, we go deep inside the Hulk's mind, where we also see Strange present in this sort of like spiritual form. Strange tries talking to him, but the Hulk isn't listening one bit and tries punching him. But of course, since this isn't Strange's actual physical form, the attack just goes through. Now going back from outside the Hulk's mind, we can see him punch through straight air, and General Ross, seeing this Hulk in this confusing like state, takes advantage of this by ordering his soldiers to attack the Hulk. But I don't know if it's because he's the Hulk or if he's in his own mental landscape right now, but he seems to have no reactions to the attacks, and if anything is more focused on Doctor Strange, telling him to get out of his head before he tries attacking him again. But Strange is like, bitch, do you know who the fuck I am? I am literally Doctor Strange. I could literally snap my fingers together just like that and you'd immediately disappear in a matter of a second. Your anger means nothing to me. But after that brief second of Strange just crashing out, he calmed down and says that he's also Bruce's friend, and tells the Hulk to revert back to his human form, which is Bruce Banner. And so he does that, and he begins reminiscing of him and his wife together before, she eventually meets her demise. And Strange seeing this is like, Bruce, yes, I was in fact one of the people that agreed to send you out straight into outer space, but like, dog, we've been homies since day one. There's no way in chance that the Illuminati and me would have anything to do with that explosion that happened on Sakaar. And bro, tell me if I'm lying right now. You and I have always been my friend and always will be. And reading this scene is just funny to me because what do you mean by we have always been friends and always will be? Like Strange, you were literally one of the people that agreed to launch your quote-unquote friend into outer space. You know damn well you don't give a flying fuck about this dude. And Bruce knows this too, because when it looks like everything is patched up between Strange and Bruce, Strange tries lifting Bruce up, and then the most devious, evilest look appears on Bruce's face. As then he grabs onto Strange, reverts back into his Hulk state, and crushes Strange's hand, forcing the two back into the physical realm. Now that Hulk has officially returned back into the real world, it seems like the military is surrounding our boy and is bombarding him with missiles and bombs. But now that he's back, the first thing he does is leap onto this nearby tank and tear it apart, using one of the cannons as a weapon to destroy another nearby tank. Now for the rest of the soldiers, they start dumping all of their bullets into Hulk in hopes of damaging him, but in the end, all it takes is just one thunderclap from the big green giant, and they're all out for the count. Then we see General Ross in this helicopter using this machine gun to attack the Hulk, but all Hulk does is just jump into the air and grab General Ross from out the helicopter, as they then are suspended in midair. Ross shoots the Hulk right in his eye before they then fall into the ground. We then go to the White House, and Maria Hill states that General Ross has now been defeated by the Hulk, leaving them with one singular option left. That option being the most powerful hero on Earth, the Sentry. And going back to New York City, we see the entire military get captured by the Hulk, and then we go back to focus on Korg and the Hulk. And Korg says that the Illuminati deserves everything that's coming to him, but Hulk still has the option of just ending everything right here. But before Korg could finish his sentence, Hulk rips open this roof underneath them and reveals a crowd of people cheering on the Hulk. In a way, I guess you could say that these people are, on Hulk's side and are against the Illuminati, since they were the ones that sort of backstabbed him. But now going to where Rick Jones is at, he tries warning Doctor Strange about the Hulk until the Hulk squad pulls up. Hero notices that Doctor Strange has an illusion magic protected around his secret hideout, so he decides to destroy Doctor Strange's illusion magic, but is then promptly greeted by Iron Fist, Ronan, and Echo, as they then start duking it out. They give it their absolute all to bring down Hulk's Warbound, but in the end, they just end up losing the battle. And as they lose the battle, they get these discs implanted onto their body and sent straight into Hulk's Gladiator-like arena. Now Doctor Strange is in a complete panic because he senses that Hiram is starting to break through all of his illusion magic. So since Doctor Strange's hands are broken, he tells Wong to give him a box, and inside this box contains a magical potion. And as Strange opens up this potion, he orders a special magical being called Zom to live once more, drinking the potion as his body begins to change. Now going back to the Hulk, he's over here just sitting on his throne like the goat he is, and Rick is just over here like, Bruce, come on, you're out here making a Gladiator-like fight arena for the Avengers? This is crazy. But then this bug dude, who I forgot his name, tells Rick that what the Hulk is doing is totally 100% valid, since allegedly the Illuminati killed like millions of his own people. But as they continue arguing, Hiram then falls from the sky looking all battered up and bruised up, as then the Hulk looks up in total shock. As then in the next page, we then see Doctor Strange in this new powerful like form. But before we could continue the comic any further, it then comes to a close.